video to intro the new Jose project board that we've got. This is it here. You can see it's not a massive PCB, so it'll fit into most chassis that you might want to work with, or I've got my own one that you can order that will work with this board perfectly. Key things about this, right? It's a standard kind of Marshall JMP setup, but this is all set up to do the Jose mod. Alright, so pre-tone stack master and lots of options for different diode clippings on here, right? Clipping settings, so you can have Zener based clipping, or you can have kind of transistor based clipping, or any combination thereof. Onboard relay to allow two masters, right? So even though it's kind of a single channel amp, you can have master 1, master 2, so kind of similar to I guess a CCV, Cameron CCV's gain channel, where you've got, you know, it's a kind of a Jose channel, but you've got two masters, and each master, obviously you can control the overall volume, which is great for like a solo and a crunch setting, but also that on each master you've got completely independent clipping controls, right? So center is off, and then you've got, you know, a three-way switch for two different clipping options, and the board supports all of that. I've actually posted the full PCB design and schematic up on the website if you want to check it out, right? So you can see the basic design that I've got up there. And this amp here is an old stereotone plexi that I've had for a while that I use as I guess a test amp, right? So I've built this board up and thrown it in here to test it out, right? And yeah, it's sounding cool, right? So two gains, standard Jose, right? Each gain has a three-way bright on it. I mean, you can configure this how you like, right? The bright caps are actually wired to the pots rather than on the board. Standard tone stack, two masters here, right? With this amp, just because I didn't want to drill any more holes in it, right, I've actually got the clipping options on push-pull pots on here, right? So you can switch the clipping off and on that way, or you might have a three-position switch, so up to the builder, right? But I've configured a few options on here, so I'll just run through a few basic tones so you get the idea. At the moment, what I've got is the brights in the center position. So the bright switches on the gain pots are completely off. You can see these are both at about 3 PM. Got the mids just pushed a little bit here, and I am on. This is the channel selector. I'm on the first channel here. You can see I've got the master at about midday, and this is what I've got 20 volt Zener clipping on with this. So kind of, this is I guess your stock standard Jose kind of tone, right? If I pull this out, this master, I've actually turned the clipping off completely, so what you'll hear now, I'll bring the master down because it'll be a lot louder with the clipping off. This is, you know, I guess more of a kind of classic hot rodded Marshall without clipping, Jose style though, right? So the master's still pre-tone stack. Zener's back on now, so we've got the normal 20 volt Zener clipping on here. The board includes provision for, actually on the PCB, right, three-way negative feedback switch, or kind of a hair control. I've got this in the kind of middle position for that, so that switch in the middle is the least amount of negative feedback, so the amp's brighter, more lively. Switch it to where I had it, that's slightly more negative feedback. And then all the way is the most amount of negative feedback. The amp will be tighter and darker. You kind of need to re-EQ it if you're going to go between those different settings, but just to demonstrate it, back in the middle position here, I'm going to move over to channel 2, the second master, and here I've got different clipping, right? So this is the, rather than the 20 volt Xena diode clipping, this is using the MPSA06 transistor clipping. I'm pretty sure it was used by Jose in a few amps, a few different mods, certainly using the Friedmans, the SAT option. So a different tone here. It's more compressed than the 20 volts. Flick between channels just so you get a comparison. Good for rock tones if you're into that. I've also got, if you want to really kind of crank it right, the board allows, as I said, a couple of different clipping options actually per master, right? So you can have, you can choose one or the other, or you can actually put both on. So just with my little test setup here, I've got the ability to flick in not only the transistor clipping, but the Xena clipping at the same time, and that's just kind of a bit over the top, right? But it's possible. So, if you want to build a Jose, this is probably one of the easy ways to do it. These are up on the website now if you want to grab one. I've got a whole bunch ready to go, so yeah, get into it. Cheers guys.